Alrighty traders, hello everybody. So there's a lot I want to go through in today's video to get you guys excited, ready for the week ahead. There is markets that I believe that are going to really take off. There's markets that I believe that are just setting up right now that could potentially be having a massive breakout. I also believe that there is the crash coming that no one sees in one particular market. So there's a lot of things that's going on right now. So that's what I want to get with you. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, if you do need some help guys, I'm giving away free access, but I don't know how long I'm going to keep giving away. So if you do need some help, guys, I'm literally giving my entire free mastery course away for free. Again, if you want to get access to that, you can see there's the link in the description there. Literally, it's for free, right? Go over there, put your name and email address, get free membership access to my complete mastery course. And I promise you, every single video in that video, foundations, chart reading, advanced chart reading, trading systems, mindset, everything's in there. Go get access to that there, guys. Otherwise, you may come back tomorrow and you might have to be paying for it. Anyway, so one thing I really want to get started with today here, right? Firstly, I want to start off with today's video as this. Leave a comment in the section. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Does everything feel like a massive time warp right now? Like does I'm sitting here this weekend, right? This weekend. It's actually the start of the weekend. Anyway, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my life, right? I'm looking at where I've come and where I'm going and so all that sort of stuff and what's happening right now. Does everything feel like what are we living in right now? Like, what actually is this? Can you guys leave a comment in the section below? Like, do you guys get that feeling as well? It's like, is this real? Is this reality? Is like, what the hell is happening in this world right now? Like, anyway, I know we just have to keep doing what we're doing right now. But I just wanted to start off with that. And it's just pretty crazy. Anyway, so one of the most important things I really want you to be focusing on this week for your own personal trading is this, okay? Is one of the biggest myths that's actually going to stop you from actually doing really well out of the trading right now is having the myth of more trades, right? More trades equals more income, and it's actually not the case, right? I'm just coming off I'm coming off another incredible successful trade myself. That I've taken, and I'm having a really successful year. But now, by the way, guys, I've been doing this for 20 years, right? I've been trading markets for 20 years, and I want to be completely blunt and honest with you. Before I get into the technical analysis here, I want to be completely blunt and honest with you here, okay? Becoming a successful trader is a layer, takes time and takes momentum, right? There is layers to becoming good. Firstly, it's about the identification of how to actually even identify an actual setup on the chart myself. That I can qualify, I can quantify it, that I know that's likely to make a really big move, right? Because that's what we're after. Like, how do I actually identify on the charts first what a really good, amazing, high quality setup in the first place, right? Because that's what we're looking for. Then it goes into, and then that's the first one, right? Then that takes time. And the second layer to that is, how do we become good? The characteristics, right? How to become more disciplined at focusing on that type of setup? How to become a bit more patient when there's no trades for maybe a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or maybe even 4 weeks, when there's no trades and you're not trading throughout that time? How do you keep yourself patient so you're not blowing up your trading account and taking bullshit trades, right? Let's just keep it real here, right? How do you actually get to that point, right? And again, that takes time, right? It's not just a one and done thing. It's like, oh, show me the strategy, John, I'm going to make a lot of money. It's like, no, here's a successful strategy, but then you don't stick to it for a whole 12 months. Where's the discipline in that, right? And then we have overlaying that, which takes time even more, is if you want to make a really good income from trading, what does it take? It takes an emotional mastery, emotional balance to, one, know when you should get out fast for a small loss, right? But then also, how do you control your fear when you're trying to let your profit run, right? We all know, let your profits run, cut your losses short, right? But the thing is this, and this is one thing I've actually found with me and my clients, and even for my own personal trading over 20 years. Right, here's the thing. One thing that I've personally found is this, is that it takes a level of emotional control of not letting that fear get in when you're trying to let that profit run, right? Firstly, you got to understand, how do you actually let the profit run? What sort of techniques, trade management techniques are you using to cut your losses short and let your profit run, right? Because I use two really important techniques that allows me to do that. But overlaying that is what? Overlaying that is the identification of you know, not, because we all know, right? Like if you want to make, like, say for example, you're trading options and you're trying to make, you know, a 500% profit. I'm looking for a really big, massive profit, right? Like one of my trades this year over 6 weeks did 400% return. Now that was my most successful trade to this day, right? But the purpose of me starting off this video for you like this is, like, even with that, right? If you're trying to get a 500% profit, how do you control that fear? How do you actually use one, good trade management techniques? But secondly, how do you actually control that fear of, oh my goodness, I'm at 150% profit right now. I don't want to lose this profit, so I better get out now. And you get out, oh my goodness, I'm feeling so good right now. And then suddenly a week later, it's at that 200, 300% profit, right? So there's these layers. Everything takes time for you, right? And if you do need some help with all of this, I've opened up a 12-month coaching program for you. Where you can join me every single day. I'll show you what I'm doing in the markets, and I'll be able to coach you and help you through this, right? All these layers here. This program is for serious people only, right? Where you're with me every day. If you're dedicated and you're committed and you're ready to actually transform this and understand that it does take time in the markets, right? It all takes time. It's not a matter of 1 week and done or 1 month done. No, it takes a good, 3, 6, 12 months of going through everything that I just said there. Getting good at identification, trade management, getting good at the mindset stuff, being disciplined, being patient, making a lot of mistakes and coming back again, all that sort of stuff, right? That's what's going to happen, right? So I've opened up 10 spots for a 12-month coaching program. It's actually all for all of 2025. I don't know how many spots are left. If you go to getjohnshelp.com, you'll be able to see a video over there, and you'll be able to see an application form. It's first in, best dressed. Once the 10 spots are done, then I'm closing it down. And if you do need some help with that, then go there. But I'm just trying to share with you a big picture here, right, guys? An absolute big picture on the truth about what it takes for you to get ahead in the market. And if you're just looking for that easy strategy, fine, here's a successful strategy. Now what do you do with it? Right? Because you're like, okay, I have a successful strategy, but it only appears once a month. Well, if you do that, you're going to make money, right? So it's just, and there's just so many layers, right? You guys know this. If you're going to be honest with us, so many layers to you becoming a really successful trader in the market, right? So many layers. Like, your thinking is wrong. One of the biggest thinkings that I actually had to overcome was that if I'm actually not trading, I'm not making money. So therefore, I'm just wasting my time. I sit in front of the markets for 4 or 5 hours a day. Oh, I don't do that now. For me personally, guys, I only trade 1 hour per day. And guess what happens to my income? My income explodes. I only trade 1 hour per day. When I say 1 hour per day, guys, I'm looking to get into trades today that's likely to last for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, right? And make a big profit. Not trying to take all these small little trades from a 5-minute chart. No, I'm looking to get into trades right now and hold on to it for a good month, make a big profit on one trade instead of trying to take all these small little trades. That's how I personally trade. And then guess what? Gives me freedom, right? So this little motivational talk right now is, I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. If you are absolutely serious about getting ahead in the markets, just understand that if you're just looking for that strategy or that quick tip or so on and so forth, like, what sort of foundation are you building, right? What sort of foundation? Are you actually going to be real about this thing or what? Because, like, I see so many people out there, and I was there over the last 20 years. I was there probably for my first 5+ years, right? And again, like, and I didn't know what to do, right? And again, there's so many layers to you becoming really successful in the markets. And I'm trying to give you this start here is about being honest and real with you, that if you want to become really good at this thing, that it does take time, right? And one of the things that I do with my personal coaching program is I save you 20 years, right? Of like, what indicators do I focus on? What actually are the setups that I need to focus on that when they do come around, they're likely to make a big move, right? And they're likely to make a really nice profit. And then they're likely to have, and when they do come around, the success rate is massive. The probability is massive. And then also, how do I capitalize on trades that's likely to make you probably make a, like for example, there was a trade that I got out of just recently. It lasted 2 weeks, really nice profit, right? Really, really nice profit. Anyway, that's if that's for you guys, first link in the description there. I'm opening up 10 spots for that, but I'm trying to give you a lay of the land, just being honest with you as well too, right? So before I get into I wanted to share that with you before I get into the technical analysis side of things here. So let's actually look at this here. What's happening with the overall the overall markets here? Firstly, I'm looking at XLE right now. Now, why am I looking at XLE right now? One of the really big things I really want to share with you from an actual technical analysis point of view, right? A technical analysis point of view is what? I'm always looking at this from a weekly chart point of view, okay? So this is my weekly chart here. And if you know what? Let me do this here. I have so many tabs here. Right, so this is a weekly chart here. And one of the most important things that I really want to share with you is this, okay? That whenever I'm looking at the market, my first port of call when looking at any market out there is what? My first port of call is I'm always trying to see what are the big boys doing right now? What are the big boys doing right now? And I need to keep an eye on that, right? So in an upward trend, the most important part is a higher low, right? Because you might get these, because sometimes you get these what? Higher lows, and you come down and make a high low. Sometimes what can happen is that you start to get this lower high. See this lower high here? Sometimes people think, even though they're, oh yeah, trend analysis, I get this, John. No, you don't. No, you don't, right? Because if you get it, your success rate will be massive in the markets, right? Your success rate will be huge in the markets. And also, you'll know how to cut your losses fast. Like when I know I'm in a losing trade, guess what? I'm in and out within 1 day. Oh, no, loss, get out. Oh, profit, like for example, recently, there was one trade that I got into, very next day, I was out fast. Oh, and then the trade that I just recently got out of, I was in it for about 2 weeks. Really, really, really amazing profit. And again, it's just, you know, amazing. But looking at this level here, a lot of people think, oh, because the trend analysis, oh, John, it's making a lower high. And then they start to look at things like, oh, there's a shoulder, there's a head, there's a shoulder, it's a head and shoulder formation. But no, if we are in an upward trending momentum, because remember, who makes these patterns in the markets? Not me and you. We're little birdies, right? We're little birdies. Not me and you. Who makes these patterns in the markets, right? It's the big boys. It's the people who push this market around, right? The trillions of dollars that flows through these markets, they're the people who make these patterns in the markets. And when we're looking at these patterns and the collective human behavior around these markets, we could start to get a bit of an insight of what they're thinking and feeling so we can capitalize on that next big move, right? So here's the big thing here. Here's the really big thing. Whenever we start to see this thing here, right? We get this thing here. The most important part is that yes, we got a lower high here, but as long as we keep making what? As long as we keep making these lows, a higher low, a higher low, and a higher low. As long as we keep making these higher lows, the buyers are still in this big upward trend. So trying to go short this market right now is risky, especially if we're trying to capitalize on a trade that's likely to last. Like for example, for me, I'm not trying to get in for a small little profit. Screw that, right? No, screw that. Stop trying to look at 5-minute charts and 2-minute charts and trying to capitalize on small profits, right? That's not the way to go. You know that, right? You know that. The way to win at this game is having at least 20% of your trades through the entire year have massive profits, and then you look at your equity curve, you're like, oh, I've had a really successful year, right? That's how you actually get ahead in the markets, right? So look at this here. So we have a low, we have a higher low. So in this case, in this point of call right now, what I'm looking at here right now, all right, in this arena here, a lot of people think, oh, firstly, heads and shoulders. Don't focus on head and shoulder bullshit, right? No reversal pattern. Do not focus on reversal pattern, right? And secondly, what can happen so many times, and this actually happened as I'm doing this recording for you right now, this has actually happened on a lot of things. It's happened on Nasdaq, it's happened on Microsoft. I'll show you what I'm talking about here, right? and then we have a lower high, it comes down. But again, as long as we stay above, let me see if I can change my color here. Let's go to this one right here, right? Let's go, right, this one here, right? As long as the market stays above this low here, the market is still making higher lows. As long as we stay above this significant low here, the market's making higher lows, right? Because then what can happen? Bam, right? We continue up. Again, we're trying to go with the big boys, right? Lows, high lows, high lows. And a lot of mistakes that people are making is that they're trying to trade this here, right? Actually, let's change that to a red. Let's change to a red, right? They're trying to trade this here, this here, this here, this here. Now, by the way, this here or that there or this here, that's right, I said the same thing twice, right? Is this, check this out. This point here, that could be 2 weeks. This point here, that could be this actually could be 4 weeks of that movement. Now, that downward movement could be what? It could be a small little downward trend. Right? But that's the reason why I always like to look at the weekly chart, because the weekly chart is giving me the true trend. The weekly chart is giving me the true trend. And again, I want to be I want to be looking for trades that's likely to make a big move. You don't make and it's likely to make a big profit. I cannot do that by trying to trade these little, let me try to go short here and short here and short here. No, why? Because we all know the big profits with any market is with the overall trend. And that's the weekly trend. That's the big trend. And the identification of that is looking at these markets here. Look at this. This is XLE right now. And the reason why I'm bringing this up to you right now is because there could be something big forming in the markets right now. And XLE could be getting ready for something seriously massive in the markets, right? The one market that's about to explode. Woo, right? And I'm gonna get to the market that's about to crash as well too, right? Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Look at this here, higher low, same low, higher low. So this here could be what? Another signal, and as you can see, right, it's wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down, wave up, and wave down, right? So the first thing I want to share with you here is that the reason why this is important, look at this here. This has been going on this is a weekly chart. What is this? This is a long time, right? When I say long time, how long is a long time? This has been going on now. This movement down here is almost 6 months worth of downward movement, right? So people trying to short the market around here. Let me short the market here and try to pick on first I'm going to try to pick the top. Don't try and pick tops, right? Throw your ego out the window. No, pick a top. No, pick top, right? Why are you picking a top for? You know you're going to be wrong at least 8 times out of 10. How are you even trading the markets? You said you want to be successful in the markets, right? What is your foundational approach that you know you're going to have at least a good high win-loss ratio, a good success rate, and also some of those trades making big profits? You don't do that by, let me pick a top when I know I'm going to be wrong at least 8 times, at least 7 times out of 10 I'm going to be wrong. And when I am right, I'm going to make a small little profit. Like, how are you actually trading them? Heads and shoulders, John. Oh, John, there's a divergence on the stochastic. Shut up. No. Rule number 1, what's the trend? Weekly trend. And the reason why I'm saying this here is because just by looking at this market through here and through here, if this weekly chart on the XLE does hold here, it does, and we start to make a really big move to the upside, like here, we start to break up to the upside, guess what that means? That means we could be getting ready for a really, really, really big move to the upside out of XLE. I don't know if it's going to do that, so people are like, oh, John, let me get in early right now. No, I know what John said the XLE is going to explode to the upside, so I'm going to get in early before everyone else does. No, that's your ego talking. Wait for the breakout first, because then it gives you much more high probability. But wrapped around with what I just said there, use rules, right? Use rules. Don't, oh, this guy on YouTube said this, so I'm going to trade. No, don't take advice from a YouTuber. I get into trades because it meets my trading setup. What are you doing? You say you want to be successful. Do you use a checklist? Are you disciplined with a really high quality setup? Do you even know what a high quality setup looks for? If you entered no to every single one of those, but you want to make a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income from trading, like, what are you doing, Mark? Get real. Right? So we can see this through here, right? We can see this through. So the purpose of this here, guys, is that one, I don't want you to have I want you to have a good win-loss ratio. Two, I want you to be able to be in a position where you can have a good, even a 20 or 30% of your positions through the entire year, have those big movements for a good month or two and make massive profits in those trades. And then you look at your entire year like, oh, I've made a lot of money this year, right? So, because XLE is doing that. This is XLE here. Now, if I go to my daily charts and look at XLE, this is where it gets really powerful, right? Really powerful. And silver did this similar pattern here. Here's the thing, right? We have big weekly trend here. Big weekly trend. But sometimes on that big weekly trend, on those downward legs that I just shared with you, guess what can happen? This here, right? Look at this here. We get these little gyrations, right? These little gyrations through here. Now, here's where it gets really cool. What can happen is that on a weekly chart, we have up, down, right? And then back up again. What this point through here, this is the weekly chart. On the daily chart, this point through here could look what? Like what? Short-term downward trend, right? But look what's happening here on XLE. What is happening here on XLE? We are getting what? Firstly, we very strong movement on the downside. Very strong movement. Let me bring you up through to there, through to there, right? Let me bring you up through there. Okay, there, right? Do you see what I see? Right, now, look at this here. Check this out. Look what's happening here. Every single time we've been in this sort of slow downward trend, okay? But again, what's the weekly trend? The weekly trend's still up, right? So this here, what is this? Remember, this here could just be a massive, significant high or low on the weekly chart. So, oh, John, there's a small downward trend. Let me try to go short here and get out next day. Don't. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm looking to make $200 today. Don't look for a trade that's likely to make $200. What are you doing? No. I'm looking to make $200 today so I can quit my job. No. Right? You're looking for a trade that's likely to make thousands of dollars, right? That's like, that's thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, like, or millions, right? You're looking for those opportunities. Look what's happening here, right? We have a low point, and then guess what? We have our what? This could be a higher low. This could be the very first time we get a higher low in this downward motion through here. If we do get a higher low and this low holds and we start to break out like that, if we get something like that going on, let me take you off the screen next minute. That could be the start of seeing this downward movement, especially actually if I draw that back through there, somewhere like that through there. All right, if we do get something like that through there, that could be the start of what? A really big move to the upside, right? This is exactly what happened with silver. If I go to silver chart, look at this here with silver. What happened with silver? Silver was doing the exact same thing. What is this here, right? Firstly, what is the weekly chart? That's the weekly chart. What's the weekly chart? This is the weekly chart here. We have this what? Up, down, high, low, up. Look at this here. Down, and then made another high, low. So what's the trend here? This is still sticking high. Now, the trend is very volatile through here, right? But it's still making higher lows. Now, here's the awesome thing about this, right? Check this out. Check this out. This is where it gets really awesome. We know that through there, right? Just like XLE, what did silver do? Firstly, we had this downward motion, right? We had this downward through here, right? Down through there. But look what happened. Look what happened to this here. What happened? We developed what? We developed this higher low. And then look what happened. Now look what's happened to the markets. The market has absolutely just taken off like a rocket. And now we're up through here. We're at a little bit of short-term resistance, but then we could get a little short-term pullback and away we go again, right? But when did it all start? Where did this all start? Right here by creating that higher low. So this is the exact same thing that happened with silver, right? And one of the reasons why I've been so bullish silver is because of that weekly chart, right? Keep an eye on that weekly chart. If you're not keeping an eye on the weekly chart, you need to be keeping an eye on the weekly chart because the weekly chart is the true trend, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because once again, is that if you're trying to short the market, let me make a small little profit here, or let me make let me make a little profit here, let me short here, right? No, right? If you look at this last 12 months out of silver, where have the big profits been? With, right? With, or let me make a small little, go with, right? With that weekly trend. Rule number one, what's the trend? What's the weekly trend? And then look for trades that go with that, okay? Identification of the weekly trend is really, 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 really powerful. Now I'm on actually silver. Let's actually go to gold here, right? Let's go to gold here for a minute. And guys, gold to me, and I know you guys are going to freak out when I say this, I believe gold's getting ready for a bit of at least a bit of a correction right now. Short-term correction, not the tops in the market's going to crash. No. I have a 3,000 target on gold, but I also do see that right now by looking at this market, and especially looking at these weekly charts, guess what? We have just made a big move. And now, and again, this is where layering, right? Layering of how these markets work. This is where guys, like, if you are serious about getting 2025 right, you need to be part of my coaching program, right? Because understanding these techniques, trend analysis, weekly trend analysis, big moves, all that sort of stuff, and then the mindset sort of things, the discipline side of things, the trade management techniques, all that sort of stuff that helps you become a really good trader, right? Not just one simple technique. Again, if you're interested in that, there, guys, go to getjohnshelp.com there, and you'll be able to see a video, you'll be able to see an application, and again, it's for the first 10 people only. Because frankly, 90% of you guys are not going to be successful in the markets because you're just not willing to take that leap of faith and really put in the work there. Now, all I'm saying, guys, is me and my clients are having an amazing year right now, right? An amazing year right now. But look at this here. The purpose of me saying that is, guess what? Once you start to understand these markets on a deeper level, what happens? Yes, we talked about trend today, right? The trend is what? The trend is your friend until the end. And I'm going to keep screaming that. Why? Because most people are still looking for the tops, right? Don't look for tops. But in a trend, we do what? We go up for a bit, and then we have a pullback, right? And then we have a big up move. And after a big up move, after a period of time, we do what? We tend to go through either another drop, or we may even just do this for a little bit, right? Something like that, and then we continue up, right? This is how markets operate, don't they? Right? We just see this here in the markets. Look, up, down, even when they're trending, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 up. You see that through there, right? So just by understanding the foundational fundamentals of how these markets work, it can keep you, yes, trading with the trend is your friend until the end, but if we've just gone through what I call the energy releasing phase, because when the market's having these pullbacks, it's building energy for the next move up, building energy for the next move up. But if it's building energy and we just released all this energy to the upside, and we've been going up to the upside, and we've just been releasing all this energy, after a period of time, you're going to be out of energy, and therefore what? And therefore we start to go through this energy building phase once again, right? And then after a period of energy building phase, energy building, right? That's the way the markets operate. The foundation of how these markets work. And a big mistake that I'm seeing people right now is, guess what? Unfortunately, you see the market do this. It takes off for a bit, right? And then it may have done something like this, right? Beforehand. You got the energy building phase all through here. Bam, it breaks out. Up, 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 up. And then guess what you're doing? What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What? What are you doing? You're looking to go long up here. And then, yes, the market may go up a little bit like here. And then it does something like this on you. And you're like, oh, the market's rigged. No, the market's not rigged. You just got in at the wrong time. But John, you said trade with the trend. Yes, trade with the trend. Then we start to overlay that with trading with the trend, and then trading just after a significant energy building phase. Now I'm starting to overlay some really powerful techniques for you guys, right? If you're trying to maximize a high win-loss ratio and potentially jumping in at the start of a next move, you do it, guess where? You do it right here after the energy building phase. You do it right here after the energy building phase. Now, why am I mentioning this to you right now, right? Bit of a master, is it okay if I masterclass this up for you today? Masterclass, right? Talking your mindset, strategy, techniques, overthinking, giving it all to you today, right? Masterclass for the week. Why am I talking about this here right now? Because even though I see gold going to 3,000, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff, what is happening with gold right now? What's happening with gold right now? Have we been A, in an energy building phase, or B, have we been in an energy releasing phase where we've been going with the trend for quite some time? And if the answer is B, meaning we've been going through an energy, again, market goes up, it's using energy, market has a pullback, building energy, building energy, building energy. And then after the building energy phase, we go through these energy releasing phase, and after a period of energy releasing phase, right? Energy releasing phase, we run out of energy, we need to build some energy again. And then we go up. And because we've been going up for a while, guess what? We're now releasing all that energy that we built. And now, after a period of time, because it's been doing that now for quite a bit of time, and if I'm actually looking at that from an actual weekly chart perspective, we've been doing this for what? 3.5 months. 3.5 months to the upside. So guess what's probably likely to come soon? An energy building phase. So we may get a little bit of a correction, or we may just go sideways for a few weeks, right? And and then we continue up. So not a complete crash. So when I'm looking at this gold chart here right now, right? When I'm looking at my gold chart and I squeeze my charts up and I'm looking at this gold chart, this thing here, even though we've been slowly stepping up, and I had a beautiful trade here recently on gold, I actually had a really successful trade on gold. Look what's been happening here, right? We've overall been stepping massively to the upside all through here. So to me, gold looks like it's now getting really tired, and we just need to build a bit of energy again. And that may that's going to come in the form of maybe a bit of a correction, right? We may get a bit of a a 5 or even possibly even a 10% drop out of gold. That's what's happening with gold right now, right? So that's what I'm seeing there when it comes to that. Let's go look at the good old stocky market. And the good old stocky market, the Dow Jones has continued to rise and rise and rise, right? And right now, as you can see, one thing that I always like to do is whenever I'm looking at the markets is look at this here. If I squeeze this chart, let me open this chart up a bit more for you, right? There we go. All right, cool. So if I look at this chart, what is one thing you notice about my moving average, right? This is a daily chart, and I use the 52 moving average. Why the 52, John? Because it's the secret number, right? Because Jesus himself came down and said, John, if you use the 52, that's the secret sauce. Don't use the 50 because that's going to completely blow your trading account up. Use the 52 because that's the secret sauce. No, I'm joking with you, right? People are like, oh, John, you use a 52. Well, I'm going to use it. No, it's not what I'm using. It's how I'm using it, right? If I use the 50 moving average or a 60 moving average or a 120 moving average or whatever, right? How am I actually utilizing that? One thing that I like to use is the 52 moving average. And that's actually rule number 2 in my personal trading system. But get this, hear this, see this, right? What is this? One thing that I always like to do is that I always like to gauge a barometer of how far these markets get away from the moving average. Here, right? Before what? Before we end up getting a pullback, we end up getting a bit of a drop back down towards mirror. It only gets certain far away from the moving average before we get a pullback. Even in a big strong upward trend, too far away, even just recently, right? Too far away. So once we get a barometer of the average length that it likes to get too far, the average length of when it does get that certain distance away from the moving average, it gives us a warning sign that we may be getting ready for at least a bit of a short-term pullback, maybe for a few days or a week, right? To get going again, to balance things out, right? Then that's what I see through it. And so looking at this level through here, we can see if I just draw some trend lines in the recent past, we see that was the length from there, right? Let me do this here. That was the length from there to there of the recent. This is recent, right? Recent. That from there, that was the length from there to there, as you can see. All right, look at this here. Right, that was the average length. This one right here was the biggest length that got too far away from it before we got a pull back to it. If I just use this one right here and bring this up to here, look at this here. We actually almost got to the average length before it got too far away. Before what? Before we even just get like a little bit of a pullback like this here, not a big drop, before the moving average catches up. We caught the moving average catching up, and then away we go again, right? This is how, again, remember I said how markets work? They flow, right? Up and then down and up and then down and up and then down, all right? This is one of the things when I say trade with the trend, but after a period of energy using, guess what? We end up having a little bit of pullback. So what's probably likely to happen is this moving average is probably going to start to kick up through here somewhere. And this market here is probably going to start to do something like this here to come back down to the moving average. Maybe even come back down to this level through here around the 40,000 and then possibly even kick back up again through here, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised to actually see a bit of a short-term drop out of these markets because we're just too far away. Now, I don't know what the top's going to, I'm not trying to pick a top here, right? Because today could do something like that. And then we do something like that, right? But I don't really care about that because guess what? I do know that within a few days, we're probably going, because we're getting too far away, because that's the average, I know that, guess what? Now it's pretty dangerous. So use that technique that I just showed you there, guys. If we get too far away, yes, trade with the trend, but if it's too far away, these are the points you don't want to be trying to go long. That's why, like, for me personally, whenever I'm trading, I like to get my rule number 2 is momentum, which is the moving average. I always like to get in right near the moving average. Therefore, I know I'm getting in on the next leg. I'm not waiting for the next leg to go up and people are going long here, right? A big sort of amateur mistake that people that don't know how the markets work, right? Bit of a master class for you today, guys, right? S&P 500. And sort of the same thing, right? S&P 500, even though we're going up, check this out here. This is where it gets, there's a danger in these markets here right now, right? A danger here. And I actually see short-term little corrections happening. And why am I saying that, right? Here's another thing that I like to use with the moving averages. Is it okay if I deliver a master class for you guys today, right? Oh my goodness, guys, I could teach you so much about these markets here, right? So look at this here. Whenever I'm looking at the moving average, I just taught you one thing of how I use the moving average. There's so many things that I use with the moving average to help me gauge on, should I be in now? Should I be out now? Should I be alert now? Is there warning bells right now? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Warning, 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 warning. Now, check this out. Whenever I see the moving average, right? Whenever I see the moving average, if the moving average has been doing this, right? The moving average has been doing that, strong to the upside. What is that? That's very strong, right? Look all through here, right? Very, 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 very strong to the upside, right? So whenever I see that, guess what? That means we have very strong momentum in that side, right? That's what I want to see, very strong momentum. But if that's strong, right? Look at this here. If the moving average is like that, that's a very strong trending moving average. Okay, if this is strong here, what if the moving average starts to do something like that? If this is strong, therefore this is going to be weak, right? Now let's overlay those two things. This is what I call a slowing moving average or slowing momentum, which gives you a caution bell that maybe something's not as what we're seeing through here, right? Just start to overlay. Remember, guys, overlay exactly what we're looking for. If the market goes up like this, moving average goes up like that, and then we start to do something like that, look at the angle. The angle here is what? Different. This is strong up and like that. This is the moving average. And what tends to happen with this level through here is then the market starts to do something like this, a bit of a drop. Because this here is where the market is actually getting weak, right? It's slowing down. The moving average is showing you how it's actually slowing down in the markets here. And when we do get that, we tend to get at least a bit of a short-term drop in the markets. Okay, so if we're looking at, say, for example, the stock market right now, even though the market's sky high and everything's so high, there is danger in these markets right now. That warning bells are screaming all over this place. Because look at this here. When the moving average went up, look at this here. See how the moving average started sort of, it's strong to the upside, then it started to slow down? We went through this period through here, didn't we? Look at this here. Look at this moving average. That there. This is strong to the upside. This is strong to the upside. Now look what's happening. See that moving average to there? What is that teaching you? What is that telling you? That yes, while we're still making these high lows and so on and so forth, there's a warning bell. There's by utilizing this technique that I use, it's a warning bell to tell you that while we're still breaking to new highs, and by the way, it's been very weak to the new highs. there's a massive warning bell to tell you that we could be getting ready for a bit of a correction soon here. So warning in the markets, right? Warning in the markets. Warning signs are screaming right now when it comes to this level through here, right? Absolutely screaming. So that to me, when I'm looking at all these markets from the Dow Jones perspective, the S&P perspective, right? We could be getting ready for a bit of a drop, a bit of a pullback across all these markets here right now on a short-term level basis, right? I don't see a big crash coming, no, right? But I do see what's happening right now and what's happening here. And once again, when we start to utilize that technique, but then the other technique is what? How far away does it get from the moving average? Right? And we just see this, right? We tend to see, and again, this is not about getting the top right or trying to trade these here. No, you're not trying to go short here. No. It's trying to say, I should stay out of the market right now. Do not get involved with this market right now, right? And they're here, and they're here, right? And we get too far away, and then we get too far away before we start to go sideways, too far away, right? Too far away. Where are we right now, right? So there's two major techniques that I've been teaching you a lot of techniques in the markets, right? The first thing I taught you today was what? Weekly trend is the most important thing. Trade with that. Secondly is how markets operate. Thirdly, the way the markets use the energy building phases, the energy releasing phases, and where are we? And if we've been in an energy releasing phase for a while, we're probably going to run out of energy. Therefore, we're going to start to refuel again, right? And then also we start to utilize that from an actual perspective of the moving averages, where the moving averages, if it's too far away from the moving average, we tend to have a little bit of a short-term pullback to get the moving average of the market coming together again. Because you just see how these markets work, right? And then overlaying that, guys, I also talked about how by looking at the angle of the moving average, if it's strong to the upside, that means you have strong momentum. But sometimes we can get these slowing periods, which doesn't mean the market's going to crash. No, or the top's in. No, it just tells you right now that even though the market's moving up, there's actually a lot of weak momentum underneath the surface, and that gives you a massive, massive, massive warning bell sign.